Hello, I'm ArchieLuxury and welcome to the program Fuckers. How are you fuckers today? And I just had an interesting conversation with my good friend Gregory Kinder. And he asked me the question, do I think Omega is as good as Rolex? And this is a really interesting question because Omega has really been moving into Rolex territory. Omega is going through a process where they're actually reneging distributorships. They're selling Omega mainly through their posh boutique, and they're also trying to eliminate discounting. They're trying to get rid of discounting. And it's a very interesting world we live in. So is Omega as good as Rolex? And I said to Greg, I wanted to make this point to Greg. I said, look, Omega and Rolex, it's like comparing Mercedes-Benz and BMW. Rolex is basically the Mercedes-Benz. They're a mass-produced, high-end luxury type product. Omega is famous for a more sporty angle, and it's very similar to BMW. Now, I said to Greg, Greg, you could argue the point that in the 3 Series market or the C-Class market, you could say some of the sports Omegas in steel are comparable to Rolex. In my opinion, and I'm fully biased towards Rolex, I think Rolex is better. It's always been better. However, the gap between Rolex and Omega is certainly lessening. And I had a good friend, Paul Maxwell, who came and saw me a couple months ago, and he was looking at a Rolex GMT, but he decided to buy an Omega Aquaterra GMT chronograph. Quite a mouthful in complications. And there was nothing comparable in the Rolex range there. And I gotta say, in all honesty, it was actually a very nice watch. Very nice watch. And it was certainly Rolex territory. The retail replacement price was about 8,000 to 9,000 fuckaroonies. But as I said to Mr. Kinder, I said, look, just like BMW is famous for its small, compact executive saloons, when you start to move into mid-range luxury or upper-end luxury, Mercedes or Rolex leaves Omega for dead. I mean, let's be honest there. When you're talking sports steel Rolexes, you're talking GMT Master 2, Explorer 2, Explorer, Submariner, Yachtmaster, Milgauss. There's quite a range. When you're talking sports Omega, you got Flightmaster, Speedmaster, Seamaster. There's quite a comparable range. Some models, you could compare them between the two. There's a bee's dick, some would argue. I think it's a bit bigger than a bee's dick, but it's certainly lessening. However, say you wanted a two-tone Submariner. The only fucking moron who was stupid enough to buy a two-tone Omega is our good friend from the M7. He bought a rose gold and steel Speedmaster, which, just between you and me, I think was a fucking mistake. And, however, buying a two-tone Submariner, a bluesy, is definitely not a mistake. Or a GMT is definitely not a mistake in two-tone. Omega doesn't have that two-tone substance like Rolex does. And Rolex has got huge success with models like the Datejust, which isn't really a sports watch in a modern context. And you look at upper luxury, many people would buy a solid gold Rolex Day-Date, but they wouldn't buy a solid gold Constellation necessarily, would they? It's nowhere near as popular In the past, the Constellation was a very popular model, but those figures have slipped now. And I said to Gregory Kinder, I said, Greg, Omega's got some great product. The Speedmaster is amazing. Is the Daytona better? Well, I think the Speedmaster's better bang per buck. But I think the Daytona possibly just edges it with Rolex's own internal automatic movement and the waterproofing of Rolex. I think it just has the edge. Mind you, you're paying a big fucking premium. That's certainly the case there. And this is what it comes down to. Is Omega at Rolex quality? And I think in the steel sports watch genre, you could say the gap is narrowing. But in the mid-tier, like two-tone watches and solid gold fuckers at the high-end luxury tier, Omega is left behind. Rolex walks all over them. Rolex walks all over them. And you've got to almost, you look at the pricing of Rolex, a day date, that's a solid gold day date with a gold bracelet, it's similar in price to a Patek Calatrava gold head on a leather strap. So, you know, that same Calatrava with a solid gold bracelet is about 50 or 60,000. So it's a premium more. Patek is sort of the next level up, but Rolex has huge sales in the day date range. And let's be honest there, with the new Rolex Sky Dweller, it's approaching Patek annual calendar sort of money. Okay, the Sky Dweller is also on a gold bracelet as opposed to a leather strap, but it's in Kui. You can understand the pricing there. So, in my opinion, I think Omega is moving very close to Rolex in the steel sports genre, but in the two-tone and upper gold layers of luxury, Rolex surpasses Omega. Rolex is the king. I'm ArchieLuxury. Give me your opinion and tell me what you fuckers think of that. Nice one, Archie. Great video.